Welcome to the Jared Ball Show, and welcome to the Bearcat Show. Jared Ball joins Coach year 2 of the coaching show. Excited, ready for high school football to start.
Yeah, I'm ready to be back and ready to get going.
Tell you what, a great night, great event here at Sundown. Appreciate Heath Hightower and all the sponsors of this show. Just a great fan base that we have, Coach. Let's talk about it. Last year, third straight trip to the Dome. You look at it, how has practice been going, and is there more pressure based on, we go back to before any of these 3 trips? I know you put the same pressure on yourself, but how do the kids respond knowing, you've been 3 straight trips to the Dome?
Well, today's not really the day to ask me about how practice has been going. We've been really inconsistent, really, to be honest with you. I don't know what the reasons behind that are. We're inexperienced, for one thing, trying to find out who the new leaders of our football team are. And so you see spurts of really, really good things, and then spurts of really, really bad things. And we got to get some of that lined out pretty quickly because, Neville returns a lot of guys. And there'll be a good indication playing those guys on where we are at this point. There are a handful of guys that had something to do with the 3 trips to the state championship, but over and all, the majority of those guys they made the trip, but they weren't actually in the ball game and involved. So I don't know, that those guys really actually, have a chip on their shoulder or anything due to that. They were at the game.
You look at it, you talk about the inconsistencies. If you could pinpoint, and I know that you have to go through every phase, and Bearcat fans out there want to know, you look at replacing running backs, all of these positions you have to fill. The defensive side of the ball, where would you say at this point on a Tuesday afternoon, what has been the most inconsistent?
That's another bad question to ask me today. We've got a lot of work to do in a lot of areas. And, again, I see a lot of really good possibilities of things to come. We're just not going out on a daily basis with our mind on trying to get better. And, we see some good parts, and it's not even day-to-day. It's like drill to drill or snap to snap, really, where you see it looks like we're focused on something for one play, and then the next play we're not offensively than we are defensively, and it's just a back and forth. And we've got to get that straight.
Well, you know that, and you mentioned that you're inexperienced. You're going to have one of your youngest teams in recent years, but this year also there's been addition to your staff. Kyle Williams takes a job at LSU, and now you have a team that's been to the Dome 3 straight years looking for a defensive coordinator. How did that search go? I know that you have the ultimate decision, but is that a lot of applicants come in? You ended with Coach Yanez, and is that something you had a prior relationship with him, and what really made him stand out to you?
Well, I did. I got some phone calls. I really didn't field any or put out any publicized the job. It was pretty well publicized whenever Kyle left, is the way I felt, and got some phone calls and had some guys that I wanted to talk to, and Coach Yanez was one of those. I think I called in about 3 guys and talked to them, but really I kind of leaned towards him because I did have a prior relationship with him. We've gotten to know each other well, mainly dealing with the All-Star game. He's been really involved in the FCA All-Star game. He's been the head coach a couple of years and just been defensive coordinator there a couple of years. We've been to some clinics together. He was a head coach at Richwood for a few years and really leaned on me a lot, soliciting a little bit of advice. And, it's like I told him, a lot of my advice is due to me screwing some things up is the way I've learned it. And so, so we've been in touch. I knew he was really, really organized. He's been the defensive coordinator at Ouachita also, so we've actually played against those guys. They were always really good on defense whenever he was there, really sound. And so, I thought it was a no-brainer. You bring in a guy that's had some head coaching experience. He's been a defensive coordinator at our level, and at the very top of the list, just a fine guy.
Yeah, he seemed to really adjust to Russ and see interacting with the student body. When you come through now, you look at schemes. Is it come in? Is it a different scheme? Do you use entirely different terminology? And how have the kids adjusted to that?
No, that was one of the first things we talked about was it's way easier for one person to learn the terminology and things rather than trying to teach. I guess it's one of the bad things about the way we do things, teaching the same thing from 6th grade all the way up, is if you do have a terminology change, you got to overhaul and change the whole thing. So when one person changes, to me, it's easier for him to try to learn it. And Kyle was really available whenever he got hired to talk to him. And they previously knew each other. Played a little bit together at LSU before Coach Yanez left and went, and he actually graduated from Grambling, and so he knows a lot of Ruston people. Also, he's really familiar with this area. So really, we started out keeping the same terminology, and then he has made it his own just by kind of piecing in some of the terminology that he has.
Well, you brought up something that's a great point. Last night I had an opportunity to go watch our 6th and 7th grade teams play each other. Tonight our 8th grade team is having a game as we do this show. But that is something, if you go through, a player enters, as soon as they come over to I.E. Lewis, they're in the same terminology that they're going to see when they get to Ruston High School.
That's right, and that's the way you want to set it up. To me, that makes the most sense, that kids are learning the same thing, supposed to be learning the same thing over and over and over again. And, it's just less work on the back end if you're getting some things done while those kids are young. And, of course, they're not running the entire defense or the entire offense, but the nuts and bolts of what it is we want to do, and really everything being predicated off of that. They're able to learn that in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and then we can advance that once they get to high school.
All right, we're going to take a break here live from the Sundown Tavern, the Jared Ball Show. We'll be back in 3 minutes with more with head coach Jared Ball.
Calling Bearcat Nation. This is Bill Hogan at Century Next Bank. Here we love our Bearcats, and we know there's no team like our home team. Remember, when you bank with us, you bank with locals. And that's a win for our community. Go Bearcats. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Need extra space? Whether you're moving, downsizing, or just clearing the clutter, Premier Storage is here to help. Customers can easily check in and receive their lock from the kiosk anytime, day or night, or online at premierstorageruston.com. Gated access and on-site security features so you can store with confidence. Premier Storage, safe, secure, close to home. Reserve your unit today.
Step into the winner's circle with a John Deere tractor from Goldman Equipment. Shop North and Central Louisiana's largest John Deere dealer. Goldman Equipment. We're not just in your field, we're in your backyard. Thank you for calling Goldman Equipment. How can I help you?
When on a journey towards the best dentistry with exceptional care, you need travel no further than the heart of Ruston. There you will find the team behind Johnston & Murphy Dental Care. It's a goal built on the tradition of excellence, established more than 60 years ago, a legacy in superior dental care. It's a journey worth taking and one we're proud to make with you. Come experience the best dentistry and exceptional customer service. Johnston & Murphy Dental Care, where every smile has a story.
Firmly founded in 1936, Pierce Lumber has been Ruston's hometown tradition for nearly 90 years. As your local Ace Hardware dealer, we're your headquarters for Bearcat tailgates, with Big Green Eggs, Traeger grills, Turtle Box speakers, Yeti coolers, meat church and hardcore carnivore seasonings, along with all the cooking gear you need to keep the grill hot and the drinks ice cold. From kickoff to the final whistle, we've got everything you need to make game day unforgettable. Pierce Lumber, friendly service, quality products, and proud supporters of the Bearcats.
Louisiana National Bank is the official bank of Ruston High Athletics. As a proud community partner and supporter of local education, we're
back to Jared Ball Show, joined by head coach Jared Ball here from the Sundown Tavern. And, Coach, you talked about, one thing, the inconsistencies, but the other night the Bird Yellow Jackets came to town. That is one, and how we end up with Bird every year. And I really think you should bring him here because it's a lot easier to go watch us play there than to make it to their practice field. But what did you like? What did you see? And I will say this as a disclaimer. You attempted more field goals in that scrimmage than you have in, 2017 now combined.
Well, Bird's willing to continue to play, and so rather than struggle to find somebody to scrimmage, we just kind of signed back up. I think both of us feel like even when Coach Suggs was there, we felt like it's a very good game. Normally Bird's a pretty physical football team, and they feel like that we are, and it kind of lets you know where you are in that area, how much work you have to do in that area, and something that we talk about from year to year, but it just seems to be something that we've signed back up for, and I feel like it's been good for both teams. It is a little bit difficult to get ready for the style of offense that they run, but to me, it's just like I always say every year. People talk about it. If you don't game plan that and work on that offense during the week, then there's a lot of coaching that has to take place during the ball game, and so we try to get the kids over to the side, talk to them, and then make some adjustments, and then have them go out to the field and apply those adjustments, be able to take some in-game coaching.
Well, that is one thing that, and I often talk about, you'll say, well, wait a minute, nobody on the schedule runs that style of offense. What in the world are we doing playing them? But I think it goes back, you're a math teacher by trade, you're teaching that lesson, and if you can teach them to develop for that offense, then you can do it for each one. It's a learning process.
It is, and there, even though it's not actually the same offense, there are some similarities in some things that other teams do that you can relate back to the things that you talk about during that game. And so you're able to say, hey, you remember this adjustment we made in the Bird scrimmage when the wing was here? We did this. You're able to make those adjustments that way, and they have some prior knowledge to, I guess, a database to be able to go back and do that, and it doesn't seem like it's brand new.
All right, let's take a look at some of the Bird footage. We have that here, those watching on the Bearcat Nation Network, and I'll talk a little bit about these clips that we see. That's our running back game. We're going to talk about our running backs for this year, but you look at one thing watching this and watching the footage. Coach, you mentioned the physical aspect of that game, and I've used to seeing Bird not belittling any of our opponents, but what we have going on, we were the more physical team that night. If that goes into a strength and conditioning, but we were very physical in this contest.
Yeah, I told the kids going into the ball game, because we've been pretty inconsistent in practice, and I've been on them pretty heavy, and told them, I knew we were going to make a lot of mistakes during the ball game, but I really wanted to see them get out there and get after it, and that was at the top of my list of things that I wanted to see, and I feel like that they did that. I feel like that they got out there and got after Bird the way that I asked them to, and I was very pleased. After the game, though, you're pleased about the ball game, but I told them it really pissed me off that we get out there and we can do that in the middle of that game and then turn around and I have to watch the practices that I watch. So they have it in them. We've just got to drag it out of them in the times leading up so that we make sure we're getting prepared like we need to.
Well, I know you'll say this, and I'll defend players because, you'll say perfect practice makes perfect. Yeah. But, if you do it on a game night, you go through, that's really what you're gauged on, how well they do it on Friday night. But you're just saying, okay, if you do it bad during the week, there's a good chance you'll do it bad on Friday night.
Well, that's probably why you do radio and I do coaching. Because at some point, you're going to end up in a situation where you haven't prepared like you need to, and the other team has prepared during the week, and they're going to be really good, and they're going to be physical, and then you revert back to the things that you've done during practice, and so that's where that ends up, and Bird's not where they need to be either, and they're less far along than us, it seems like, and so it looked like we manhandled a lot of areas of that ball game, and I think you get a false sense of security. It's one of the things that I talk about the reason we play the schedule we play is whenever you play really tough teams, you don't have any gap in there to where, you play someone that's not very good, and then you start looking and everybody starts saying, well, dang, Ruston is really good. And even coaches, you buy into that too. I mean, because you're looking and, dang, this guy's good. And you go back and watch the video, we haven't blocked anybody, and the running back's running the ball in, and everybody's thinking like, dang, the running back's good, we're really good on offense, and then you play somebody that's good and you're not blocking those guys, well, they can get the running back tackled.
So I'll tell you, and there is, the proof in the pudding, 78-25 since you took over as head coach, 30-7 in district. So I will say that, yes, and I'm going to talk about the tough schedule in just a minute, but let's look special teams the other night. I made a joke of it, made reference. We did attempt more field goals, but we made them. You had a punt return for a touchdown. And then as a head coach, you look at Earl Griffin, offensive coordinator, you got to replace the offense of the two-headed monster you had in Jordan the Jet Hayes and Dyline Brooks, and that has been interesting to watch the battle between the running back position.
Yeah, you thought I ignored the question about the field goals. We'll kick them whenever it's available. I told them, we work a lot of fourth down situations in practice, and I chart those to see what our percentages are whenever we go for it on fourth down. And if I don't feel comfortable doing that, then we'll kick field goals or we'll punt the football. And as much as I hate that, I go by what it is that I see in practice. And if I'm not confident that we can convert those fourth downs, then I feel like I'm going to try to be a smart football, as smart as what I can be, a smart football coach. I'm not as smart as Mr. Gressett with some of that stuff, but he only tells me after the fact.
He's a hindsight guy. Yeah. He's always been a hindsight guy. 2020.
You shouldn't have gone for it whenever we didn't make it, and then, hey, great call whenever we do, and that kind of stuff. But, I like Joaquin is a really experienced kicker, and I feel good about our snapper, our holder, and our kicker. We've got to work on some protection. We had some protection problems today on our extra points, and we got to get that lined out. I mean, there's just a lot of areas to work on, but that was I thought a positive, and I'm trying to push Joaquin too. I want to see how strong his leg is as he's getting older to see how far he can kick it.
All right, we're going to take our second break. Join us at the Sundown Tavern on most Tuesday nights. Now, we won't be here next Tuesday because somebody has a ball game that will be attending over at West Monroe. Little freshman
JV game.
Yeah, no show without you, but certainly we'll be back here on September 9th.
You could be the one-man show.
No, not a chance. I'm going to be the there's one college that they have an offensive coordinator for first down, and somebody calls it on second down, third down. I thought I was going to volunteer to call fourth down for you. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more of the show.
Holland Real Estate Group has been serving the commercial real estate needs in Louisiana for over 30 years.
Because your business means everything to you, we know the importance of proper planning and location management. With our extensive knowledge of the area, we're able to create individualized solutions for our clients. We work closely with our community leaders to understand growth in the area. Ensuring successful win-win relationships for our clients is what we do best.
Building a life is different for everyone because everyone is different. That's why State Farm is there. Contact local agent Skip Russell for a quote today.
Headquartered in Ruston, Louisiana, HGA is a full-service project management and engineering services firm providing professional services to clients throughout the U.S. and overseas. HGA builds long-term client relationships by listening to clients, leveraging the experience of its professional team, and delivering on its commitments. HGA is a proud supporter of the Bearcat football program.
When it comes to physical therapy, there's one name to know. That's Johnson Physical Therapy. And as always,
I live in Ruston. It's where I went to school and raised my boys. Now with 2 grandsons and another grandbaby on the way, this community means more than ever. I have a passion for serving families across Northeast Louisiana. Whether buying or selling, it's about helping people find the place they'll call home. because when it comes to finding a home, I treat your family like my own.
Firmly founded in 1936, Pierce Lumber has been your go-to for quality building parts in Ruston and North Louisiana. Located on 1032 Burgessville Road, we carry tools from DeWalt, Milwaukee, Senco, and Ego Power Tools. We're your home for locally sourced lumber and quality building parts. As well as being your local supplier for Benjamin Moore Paint, we offer delivery of our products from our door to yours. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and remember, if you're making it, make it with Pierce Lumber.
Back to Ruston Bearcats Live, joined by head coach Jared Ball. And, Coach, I want to go just a minute on a serious note that you take your job as athletic director very serious. And a lot of times you say, well, he's AD, head football coach, let's just get him out of the classroom. But that is one thing since you took over as head coach. You have really wanted to improve the facilities. We look at the video board, which led to this class that is streaming this show tonight. Go through everything. At the turf of the stadium, and now the multi-purpose building. I want to talk about that just for a minute. Indoor facility, you want to call it at first. You say, well, now it's going to inconvenience you. I got to find a different place to park, all of this. But look at this facility and growing, and let's talk about that facility, how it came to be, what all it will be used for, and just how it's going to benefit your program and all the programs at Ruston High.
Well, there were a lot of working parts on trying to get that done, and I would say Mr. Durrett probably was the biggest factor in that. He really initiated that conversation after I had brought it up a long time ago, and just to see, I was trying to, I guess, check his oil to see how feasible that may be in the future, and then we talked about whenever there was a bond coming up, he said that may be a possibility, and so we started looking at some things. And, he asked me about doing a little research on trying to find out, what other districts, not just in Louisiana because there aren't many, but in Texas mostly, just because I know some coaches there on, how much is it actually used. And, over and all, everybody I called said it's the most used facility that they have, outside of a regular classroom where there's kids in and out of there constantly. But outside of that, it's the most used facility that they have. And there's really no limit to what it is you can do or who can use it. I think, every athletic team is going to be able to use it. Everybody thinks it's a football facility and that nobody else is going to be able to use it. But we've done a good job as an administration, I think, at the high school to try to spread athletic periods all throughout the day to try to help all our facility usage out. I mean, once we started volleyball several years ago, there was some conflict with the gym. They've been gracious enough to be able to stagger those so that we're able to use different gyms at different times, and they can have the one that they want. Everybody wants the main gym, and so on and so forth. So as long as everybody's willing to work, I think that we can do that. I mean, and there's no limit to what you can do. The field will be set up with the lines for a football field. It'll be set up with soccer lines. It'll be set up with the infield of a softball field. It'll be set up with the infield of a baseball field. There'll be a drop-down net in the middle where both can practice at the same time.
I did not know that. That is going to be very feasible for our athletic department teams to use. And even the band, Walter Moss could take the band over there and march in there a little bit.
Yeah, Walter has band first and second period. We already worked together first period because we have freshman athletics during that time. We've already worked together to where when there was a grass field and the turf, where we alternated days on where he used the turf some days and then he had his grass field that he worked on. And so you got that aspect where you've got band, cheer and palms and bells also will be able to use that. They need to be able to use the lined field. There were days where there was a lot of overlap where they were coming out seventh period to try to use it, and you had two soccer teams out there. Now we're going to have both of those that are lined for them to be able to use. To me, you look at elementary field days, they've been times where they've had to be canceled because of rain or it's too hot, and so they'll be able to stagger those so that they can utilize that area.
All right, I got to interrupt you.
Cut me off.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off here.
It's unlimited.
Because here's the thing. Now you look at this, at those watching on the Bearcat Nation Network, or if not, you can see these on the school's webpage. I'm going to ask a question because when we're getting ready, Enter Sandman is playing on the video board. It's like 8 years for you guys to get from the field house all the way to the field. So will we do halftime in there, or will you bring them over here for pregame and then come out on the field? I'm already thinking ahead. How's it going to be used on Friday nights by the Bearcat football team?
We'll walk past it to go to the field.
And there goes that.
I'm not doing
We're not going to be in there for pregame?
Yeah, I'm not doing the West Monroe deal where they warm up somewhere else. We're going to warm up on the game field like all the regular teams do and do our deal and go down. And we may meet there.
So halftime.
At times. We may meet there at halftime if the weather's nice outside. But a lot of times, if you play long enough, it gets cold enough where you want to go inside and warm up and come out. So we may utilize it at halftime. There may be some pregame stuff, maybe quarterbacks or something go out there. I was being funny about that.
No, you're good. Yeah. You're good. It doesn't bite. You have thick skin when you have to work with Dan Gressett. Let's go to and look, Seabass, if you could. I want to look at some just for a minute because every athletic facility is undergoing some type of renovation. The gym is being renovated. You go look, we have our baseball field, our softball field. Talk about that and just really your overall role as an athletic director. You want all the facilities to be first class.
I really do, and I know, probably a lot of the misconception about that job is, like you said, like you got a head football coach that's wanting to get out of class and they pay him a little more money if he's the athletic director, and that's how that goes. But, I'm too competitive to be involved in anything to want to lose. I mean, anybody that really knows me, if I'm going to have my hand in something, I'm not interested in it being ragtag or sorry-looking outfit. Like, that's not what I want. And so I want to do everything I can do to help all of our teams be as good as they can be. I want all of our facilities to be nice. I want them to help keep those things up. And if you take care of things, then they last, and people are willing to do some things additionally if they know that you're going to take care of them. And so, I don't think there's going to be anywhere you can go where anything's going to be any nicer than what we have here at Ruston.
Let's look just for a minute, too, and final about role as athletic director. New sports was added. You mentioned volleyball. Now, announcements today at school talking about wrestling, the latest sport to be part of Ruston High School.
Yeah, and you have some firsthand, I think,
knowledge of the campus wrestling.
Knowledge of wrestling, not you.
No,
but,
not at all.
Yeah. So we're happy to have it. I think it's going to be a great addition. The only thing you have to look at whenever you add sports, and I know people sometimes wonder, like, well, why wouldn't they add this? Why wouldn't they add that? Well, you have to look and see what kids are you pulling from other sports. Is there a possibility that you're going to pull kids from another sport where you're not going to have enough to be able to function with both of them? And so I know a lot of times people think you're dragging your feet and all of that kind of stuff, but there's more to it than just saying, all right, hey, let's have this, and out of the blue that's what we have, and then all of a sudden then this other group doesn't have enough kids to be able to participate in their sport. So
And I think one thing you mentioned I thought was a great point, the continuity of it. When someone comes up, is it just going to be a program while their children are involved? What's going to happen, the longevity of a program? And you have to take that in consideration as athletic director, because you don't want to be, oh, well, we had a wrestling team for 3 years and then it's over.
Well, and that is what you have to look at, because right now I think you have Jeremy Hebert that's really involved in that and took over as the head coach, and he's got a kid coming through that's going to be involved in that, and you look like, how long is he going to want to be involved? Is he going to make sure that he's diligent about making sure that somebody's going to follow that up? Because I can tell you how much I know about wrestling is, me and my brothers got in the yard and got after it, and that was about all I know about it. There wasn't no slapping and you get up, you got up.
No, there were no flags. Yeah, there was nothing.
After the other one let you up.
All right, we're going to take a break here from the Sundown Tavern. Invite you to join us each and every Tuesday. We won't be here next Tuesday, but next time here will be September 9th. I want you to be a part of the Jared Ball Show. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Bayou Kubota is a proud sponsor of Bearcat football and a loyal member of the Bearcat Football Club. Visit Bayou Kubota for all your tractor and farm equipment needs. Bayou Kubota, service with a purpose in Ruston, Bossier City, and Monroe.
Brazier Group Real Estate, Ruston's hometown real estate agents located in downtown Ruston on North Trenton Street, have been cheering on the Bearcats for over 35 years. Call a Brazier Group agent today to learn what Lincoln Parish has to offer. Whether you're buying or selling land, investment, commercial, or residential real estate, Brazier Group is leading the industry in our area and ready to help you with your next move. First Ruston invites you to join them on Sundays at 8:30, 9:45, or 11 a.m. We offer kids worship at all 3 services. On Wednesday nights, students meet at the Powerhouse. Middle school students at 5:30, high school students at 6:45. Our mission is to help you find God's plan for your life in a fun, friendly, encouraging environment. For more church info or to watch our services online, we invite you to visit fbcruston.org. We're saving a seat for you at First.
Headquartered in Ruston, Louisiana, Hunt Forest Products manufactures a variety of plywood lumber and other specialty wood products to meet a wide variety of building and manufacturing needs. Hunt Forest Products is family-owned and operated, practices sustainable forestry, and provides more than 400 Louisiana jobs. Hunt Forest Products is a proud supporter of the Bearcat football program.
Hey y'all, I'm Murphy DeMoss at Walpole Tire and Service, and welcome to Tip of the Week. Did you know that maintaining proper tire pressure is essential for your vehicle's performance? First, it enhances safety by improving handling and reducing the risk of blowouts. Second, keeping your tires properly inflated extends their lifespan. And lastly, it boosts fuel efficiency, which saves you some money at the pump. Come experience the difference at Walpole Tire and Service at either Ruston or West Monroe.
Firmly founded in 1936, Pierce Lumber has been your go-to for quality building parts in Ruston and North Louisiana. Located on 1032 Burgessville Road, we carry tools from DeWalt, Milwaukee, Senco, and Ego Power Tools. We're your home for locally sourced lumber and quality building parts. As well as being your local supplier for Benjamin Moore Paint, we offer delivery of our products from our door to yours. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and remember, if you're making it, make it with Pierce Lumber.
Welcome back to the Sundown Tavern, joined by head coach Jared Ball, Nick Brown here. Coach, to look at it this year, we talked about it earlier. You had to replace 2 running backs who were absolutely phenomenal and a joy to watch through the years, and Jordan the Jet Hayes and Dylan Brooks. And now, how's the running back battle going for the Ruston Bearcats?
It's going well, to be honest. That's one of the things that I think has been a bright spot throughout the fall camp. And, I think probably Dalen Powell has taken the lead on that, but Jeremiah Freeman has been around a while. He was kind of overshadowed by the other two guys last year. He's done really well. Had a good summer leading into fall camp. Davis DeMoss has done really well. He returned a punt the other day. He's big time in the return game. Just undersized really for a full-time running back, but I think he's going to be able to get plugged in there and have some carries. And Cole Gray has done really well for us there. Has had some knee injuries in the past, so he's probably a guy that a lot of people don't know who he is, hadn't heard his name, but he has come along and done really well, had a good practice today. And so looking at those four guys rolling in there, it's great to have some depth there at running back because you never know what'll happen. But there ain't anything better about trying to replace some kids if you've got some competition there, and particularly at running back, because everybody, if they know that you've got that many guys there, every time they get the football, they're trying to tear out of there and go score it. And so that's been good to see.
Well, iron sharpens iron, so I think that's going to be great. Look at the quarterback. You privilege of having Brantley for the last few years. He's gone. Hartwell had gotten some experience over the past. And how is the quarterback? Now, Hartwell as QB1, how's the battle for the backup for Hartwell?
It's coming along. I think there's been a lot of guys getting some reps there. We've repped Peyton Nations there, Tyler Osborne, and Aiden Adams has gotten some snaps. Aiden's getting a lot over there on the defensive side of the ball, but just trying to settle in on who would be the next guy in the ball game. And you just got – there's a lot of things that go into that. There's some really good competition, and, again, just like the running back spot, like there ain't anything better to bring out the best in all those guys than some competition.
So the mindset as you go as a head coach of the Bearcats, when you go in and play, and we're going to talk about the schedule, of course, the Bayou Jam this weekend with Neville. When you go in, is it a situation where, boy, we'd like to play three quarterbacks, or you really need to get continuity with QB1 and you go through, so how do you balance all of that out?
Well, in that ball game, it is a jamboree. We'll start with the first group and see how that goes. And, I'd like to tell you that we're going to play a couple series with the ones and all that kind of stuff, but really when it boils down to it, that being who it is, like we're going to try to figure out a way to win that ball game. And if it takes the first group playing the whole time, then that's just what that turns into. And the thing is, it's only 2 12-minute halves, and so you don't have a lot of back and forth that you're able to do and guarantee some snaps, which I like. I actually like the scrimmage better than I do the jamboree because you can guarantee all of those snaps and you can split some so that you can look at guys. Jamboree's a little bit different because it's all live, and so I think probably primarily, depending on how that goes, you'll probably just see the first group.
Well, these guys are a lot smarter than me. You probably didn't notice it because you were busy coaching, but at the scrimmage with Bird, we actually had a split screen on the video board. We had both end zones up at the same time, so you could follow both on the video board. But I'm looking at this with Neville. How do you feel about that? Like, for me, I'd say, you know what, there are all these teams in North Louisiana. Why do we have to play someone that is on our schedule? Is it just to sell tickets because it's a matchup? The Ruston-Neville ball game is just, it's going to be a great ticket sale. It's going to be a good battle, but as a head coach, would you rather play someone else, Bastrop, I don't know, Sterlington, whoever it may be? Do you like having somebody that is on your schedule?
I would say not necessarily, but I think the Bayou Jam put that together because it is a big ticket sale, and at the end of the day, they're somebody that's trying to make some money. But I would say this about the Bayou Jam. Most of the money that they bring in goes back to the schools, and it's been a really good deal for us. After the fact, they cut us a check. I don't have to do anything. They put the whole thing together. We drive up, we play, and then we get on the bus. They feed us, and then we leave, and then she mails me a check. And so it don't get much easier than that. And and the thing is, to me, as long as I can get a good football game, because I don't think there's anything that you need more than some great competition going into week one to figure out, all right, where are we at? What things do we need to really hit the gas on and work on this week before we hit the week one ball game? And Neville's going to be that. I mean, that's the way that's going to be. And there'll be, the offensive defensive coaches don't think I know all of it. They put all their stuff out in practice, and then we get out there, and then they don't want to show this. They don't want to show that because they're saving putting all the stuff in their pocket because they don't want to let
So you would rather just go out, hey, let's go out and win the game, and then we could just go through. If you got to show it,
it don't make me any difference what we run out there. But I let them handle it. It's the offensive guys and the defensive guys, and they game plan it. But I can guarantee you this, if it boils down to it and it's tight at the end, they're going to run whatever it is they need to win the ball game. And
all right, so let's talk about that just for a minute. All right, let's talk about this. You're an offensive-minded guy, right? You more offense or defense?
That's what I primarily coached. Is
okay,
offense.
so Hugh Freeze at Auburn, you got a first down, a second down, a third down guy calling plays. So is there ever a time when you say, you know what, we're going to run this, and you go to the headset and said, run XYZ, pro right, red 35, whatever it may be? How does that work? Is there ever a time where you just say, we're going to run this play because this is what I want to run right now?
Yes. Yes, that does happen. And it does happen defensively. There's times where I want to see a certain thing that I think that I've seen, even with Kyle. There were times where, I felt like we needed to go try to block a punt. So that's what it is. I think it's my job as a head coach to kind of help have an overview of what it is that I'm looking at, and I'm not directly, I was a play caller on offense before I was a head coach, and I think sometimes you get so involved in what it is, the zeroed in, that you don't have a wide perspective of what it is that you're looking at, and so I think as the head coach sometimes I'm available to see some things that they might not. It ain't that they don't see them. They're not taking it from a wide perspective.
I know. I totally get what you're saying. If you were to become, the head coach and the offensive coordinator, you're going to miss some things on defense because you're concentrating on that. I want to talk about this schedule because, you're 78-25. That's a 76%, 77% winning percentage. You're 30-7 in district, and 81% winning percentage. But I look at this schedule and say, wow, boy, these numbers could be. I mean, that's a great record. But you're not doing this against Shongaloo and other teams. I mean, you've got Acadiana, Cabot, Longview, the Texas two-step there. So you go through. Coach, why is the schedule so tough, number one? And number two, it is unfortunate, but only 4 home games this season.
Well, if I remember right, I thought we had 4 last year. I may be wrong. But so it's no different than what we had last year. We had one where we're meeting somebody halfway. I mean, and we may have nobody travel to Alvarado on a Thursday, but I don't believe we'd have many people travel
Bearcat
to
Nation
Midland.
Network and the Cube will be there. I can tell you that. We're going to make it.
Well, you probably have a lot of people listening and watching, but I don't know how many would have followed us to Midland on that 8-hour jaunt over there to watch them. So it boils down to can you find games, and we want to find games against people that are very competitive. And it goes back to the same thing that I talked about earlier, is I want to put a magnifying glass on the areas that we need to improve on as early in the season as what we can. And you try to do it against different style of football teams. You line up against Acadiana, you better damn bite your mouthpiece and dig in, because they fix to try to pile the ball up at you. And if you ain't about that, then you're going to have to get out of the game. We're going to have to find somebody that can. And then
that's the only time you ever called me into your office. I was doing play-by-play that game that night, and it was third and 6, and I thought we should pass and get out of bounds, and you ran a draw up the middle, and I said, whoa, you surprised me. You asked me if I wanted to be the offensive coordinator and do the game on the radio. So I'm not ever going to question any of the play calls here against the Wrecking Rams of Acadiana. Cabot, that's a great game. Really enjoy that series. Longview, of course, we know the relationship with that program, and certainly love to see that battle. And you're still going to take how that's going to work. The freshmen and JV are going to go over on Thursday and turn around and play, and Longview's going to come on Friday.
We'll get an opportunity for our younger kids to make a trip over there to get an opportunity to play those guys. They're always good in the sub-varsity and feel the same way about that. You know, and the thing is you're looking at a lot of different styles of offenses, a lot of different styles of teams, and so you have an opportunity to see, you know, how are we up front? How are we in the secondary? Do we need to make some adjustments? I mean, because if you're not doing that, then it's going to show itself up later on, and you're not going to be able to recover from it. Because in the playoffs, you know, it's a one-game deal, and if you look around and you haven't played anybody that's a really good spread team or a really good under-the-center team, and then that's who you meet, and then you're like, dadgum, I wish we'd have done whatever. Well, you're going to be working on it next year because it ain't going to work out for you in the playoffs.
All right, then we turn around with Stephenville, Texas, and Ouachita Tate. You misspelled Ouachita. And then Neville.
I didn't type that.
No, we typed that. We're better at running a video camera than we are at spelling. So Ouachita. You look at
the kids are all pointing at you.
You know, that was Tate. But here's the thing. I look at this one, and Ouachita is one. And I'm not going to make a prediction on the schedule, but you look at this, and Ouachita is always like one player away. It's like a one-possession game, and then something happens. So I look at this schedule. I mean, even just with district, and of course Neville and Ash and Pineville, you know, and you know, I'm not going to beat around the bush of all this. Pineville probably the lowest ranked team that we play, and of course that one's going to be on the road. But again, just another tough schedule for the Bearcats.
Yeah. You know, I've said it a couple of times, and I have to be careful sometimes with what I say because I'm not real familiar with what everybody has going on. But I have a feeling that our district is going to be as tough as it's been in a long time. Ouachita's got some really good players. A bunch of those kids that are seniors now started since they've been sophomores. He's really sold out on those guys for the last few years. Neville, kind of the same thing. He's got some guys, some big high-profile guys coming back. Ash obviously was really good last year. Coach Bachman's doing a very good job. They'll regroup. And West Monroe's doing the same thing. You know, they've talked about this group that they've got coming back. And so I expect for all those guys to be just as good as that non-district schedule that we've got. You know, hopefully I've still got 11 guys that will want to play by the time we get through week 10.
I think you do. There is one thing I want to ask you. What game falls during the fall break? There is a curse on the fall break game. Which one is that? Is that Neville?
You know, I don't remember right now off the top of my head.
Pineville, I hear it. Okay. Well, there you go. Pineville's the Halloween game. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break, our final break here, joined by Jared Ball at the Sundown Tavern. We want you to be a part of the show. We won't be here next Tuesday, but every Tuesday after that, come be a part of the show. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Contact local agent Skip Russell for your personal price plan today.
Hunter Smith, class of 1999, and Josh Beckham, class of 2006, are firmly founded. Contact us for two Bearcats who will be a trusted advisor in your next sell or purchase of recreational, investment, or hunting property. Go Cats!
At GBT, we're more than just a bank. We're part of the community, and we're proud to cheer on Ruston High Athletics.
Whether it's on the field, court, or track, we're excited to stand by our athletes and celebrate their hard work and dedication. With GBT, you're always banking on a winning team. Go Bearcats!
No one can predict the future, but there are preventative measures to ensure our properties, belongings, and families are protected. At Provision Security, this is what we do best. Our team of security professionals install and service the latest technologies in security alarms, access control systems, IP cameras, and much more. We take pride in securing the homes and businesses of North Louisiana. If you're ready to safeguard what matters most, call us at 318-255-1566 for a free quote. ProVision Security remains dedicated to protecting your past, present, and future.
I'm Brett Brown, and when I want fireworks, there is only one place I go, and that is Family Fireworks. Family Fireworks supports all Ruston High activities. John, Barbara, Jim, Jennifer, and Philip Ford are all Ruston High graduates. Family Fireworks is located at 116 UPS Road off Highway 33 in Ruston. We are the tent in the back. Just like you celebrate Bearcat and Lady Bearcat victories, come celebrate your firework holidays with us. We have been making memories for over 20 years. Come have fun with Family Fireworks. Ford Family says go big Ruston.
Bearcats Live with head coach Jared Ball. And, Coach, you look at it this Friday night, you're going to go over and go to ULM, Bayou Jam to take on the Neville Tigers. And the following, we won't have a show next Tuesday. Then you go down and travel to take on the Wrecking Rams of Acadiana. So that's a tough 1-2 combo facing the Bearcats right off the start of the season.
Yeah, we always look forward to playing in the Bayou Jam. I think it's a great atmosphere for the kids, the playoff-type atmosphere, with the crowd and going into a big stadium. And it's a great experience for our kids, and then playing a great football team on top of it. And it's supposed to be the nightcap of the Friday set of games. And I don't think you could line up two better teams to do that on a Friday night. I know everybody was looking forward to that ball game last year in the state championship, and I think both of us screwed that up before it was over with. But hopefully it'll be a good show and give both teams a great indication going into week one on where we are and what things we need to work on. And then we've got a really good football team that we're real familiar with in week one in Acadiana. They do have a new head football coach, but I can tell you that they ain't going to do anything different.
No, they're not going to change anything up at all.
Yeah, his granddaddy, I believe, is the one that's got his name on the stadium, and so he ain't fixed to do anything different than what they've been doing. And so we better get down there and be ready to play. Better have some good days of practice, and that's a rough place to play. Their students do a very good job in their student section, and they will get on your butt down there, and we've been down there before, and it rattled some kids because they'll say some things to them down there, and if you ain't ready for it, then it shakes them up, and it'll get them off their game.
Well, there's nothing that Carswell doesn't say in the press box on a Friday night, I will tell you.
He gets you shook up.
Yeah, he does, absolutely. How would you – when you picked out Acadiana, you just look and said, okay, we're going to find one of the toughest teams from South Louisiana, and I'm going to put them on the schedule?
I try to look at the select, non-select. I always try to get matched up against some good football teams that we probably won't play in the playoffs. And so that lends itself to the select teams. And so I think they've got an open enrollment parish down there, which makes them, they're a public school, but being open enrollment about a lot like Ash. And so whenever that happened, and Coach McCullough and I always have had a very good relationship since I've been the head coach here, and we've always thought it was a very good ball game. And Coach Dotson and I, hopefully we can renew that in some form. I've got a couple games next year already lined up, and I've been told that Neville may move down and be out of our district whenever they realign everything. We'll figure out that. Probably in October we'll have some idea on what that looks like, and of course if they move down, then we've got to play. Coach Collins and I
a couple of teams. We're going to be going to Tuscaloosa, Oxford. Where do you have in mind?
Well, I guess if Auburn keeps on doing that first down, second down, third down offensive coordinator deal, we may need to call them and see what we can get worked out.
I think you possibly should. That was a low blow, I tell you. All right, we're looking at now. You mentioned it earlier. You got Earl Griffin, offensive coordinator, Yanez, defensive coordinator. The Neville game during the regular season is so long on the schedule. Then everything is on the table, or do you hold a few plays, offensive plays, trick plays, whatever it may be? Do you hold those in your back pocket for the Jamboree?
Well, I think the best coaching move is to try to work on your base stuff and make sure that your kids can run what it is your base things are. I don't feel like that they have in the past. I know we don't. We're not trying to scheme up anybody. You don't really know enough looking at a scrimmage to be able to tell what tendencies they have and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of just go out there and let your kids get after it. Now, as the season goes along and you get some data, you got some games to work with, and, if they like running behind this offensive lineman, or they get in this formation and here's what they do, or they shift the front in a certain way, play this coverage on this down. There's some things that you can get on their tendencies as the season goes along that you're able to utilize and try to go against, but that's all later on. And so it ain't so much necessarily saving anything. It's just you have a little more data to be able to go by, to be able to set up a real game plan on what it is you plan to do and how you plan to attack them.
I tell you what, I had a few questions roll in. What do you want to see on Friday night? We have a great fan base, it turns out. You have the pavilion, and you have great crowds that turn out, season ticket sales. What are things that you would like to see on a Friday night that may be a little different than what we're doing? I know that I have one question come in. They want to flicker the lights, and they want me to get louder on the speakers. I will tell you, we've actually blown the speakers twice at Hoss Garrett Stadium. And thank you. I didn't give you credit for this. You actually purchased a 10-year warranty. So both of the times those speakers have been replaced for free. But I did have to change the amps. And so that is something maybe our principal wants us to get louder on Enter Sandman. But what are things maybe that, I know what you're going to say because I've been around you for like 20 years. You're going to say you don't really pay attention to any of that stuff. You're just watching them on the field. Is there anything you'd like to see on a Friday night?
Well, I knew that was our principal that said that. So I guess if he wants those lights that flicker, then he needs to buy some, would be the first thing that I'd tell him. So I'll be expecting a check tomorrow. I'll hit him up about that tomorrow, and so everybody can expect that next year
flickering
we'll have the flickering lights. Every time we score, they'll shine on and off, and that's all due to Mr. Gressitt. We appreciate him signing up for that. No, that's not necessary, and no, I would rather not. But that seems to be the way of the world.
That's the cable coming out in you, huh? Just line up and play football, right? What about West Ouachita? Put them back on the schedule. Your alma mater, is that a tough one to coach against?
No, it's not. It's not a tough one. Whenever they were in our district, it wasn't anything. Coaching against my nephews, I guess, was the worst thing. But I told them, and they knew how I felt about it. I've been around them long enough that was a ball game that just they'll have to line up and take it and take their whooping and go on back to the house. But they know that's how it works. And my brother, he knows that too, and he would be the same way. And so I think the West Ouachita game has been good at times and not so good at times. But it is 30 minutes down the road, and we have gone through some years where we've had to take some long road games. That may be something that I would look at. I do want to do what is good for our fans too, so that we're not trying to travel all over the place and do that. That's not something that I'm making an effort to do.
It just happens.
It just happens. I mean.
I did have to look up Alvarado, Texas, and make sure it was spelled right. So make our way to Alvarado. I want to talk closing real quick. Lincoln Parish School Board, a great investment. If you notice, I went to a couple of junior high games. Boy, nice, great quality buses for the Bearcats to travel in this year.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great addition, especially as much as we're going to be on the road this year. It's fixing to save us a ton of money. You could probably, with what we're going to save in this 1 year, you could probably pay for 1.5 of those buses with what it is that we're going to save as far as the amount of money that we would be spending on charter buses to get where it is that we're going. And so very happy for that. They've already, soon as they got them wrapped and all of that, they've been on the road all kinds of places. Our guys took them to sell Bearcat cards out in the community, but there's been teachers on them going to staff development things in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and they've been all over the place. And I think it's one of those things like the multi-purpose pavilion is nobody realizes how much you're going to use those things until you actually have them on hand, and then all of a sudden everybody else's ideas, then they're like, dang, we can use these things. And of course, everybody going into it, everybody thinks, well, football wants all of that, and that's not the case. We want everybody to be able to use them, and I think it's been a great addition to the things that we've already got.
Well, I do have a CDL, but I don't encourage you to ask me to drive. I'm a very slow driver. Our superintendent, Ricky Durd, asked me to drive one time to the Parkway tournament. We were late getting to the game because I drive so slow, but we did defeat Parkway that night. So, Coach, I tell you, I wonder if we could fill out an hour. What a great night. Appreciate everyone coming out to the Sundown Tavern. We will not be here next Tuesday. We will be in West Monroe as a freshman and JV take on the Rebels, but we'll be right back out here on the back porch on September 9th. Enjoy it. Look forward to it. Good Luck versus Neville in the Bayou Jam, and hope to see everyone at Acadiana when the Bearcats take on the Wrecking Rams.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it.
All right. Hope you come out next week. Appreciate the Sundown Tavern. Such hospitality tonight, and appreciate all the Bearcat fans turning out. Until next week, I'm Nick Brown for head coach Jerry Ball.